Are you fed up with how long it takes to earn credits in Gran Turismo 7? Tired of waiting for the 2 weekly time trial to come around to get those 2 million credits easily? Well, if you are, this video's for you. My name's Sam, aka SammySnake, aka the fastest snake in the world, and in today's video I'm going to share with you a technique and a method to earn 2 million credits every single hour that you can repeat. I'm going to share with you the fastest possible race, strategy, car and setup with a lap guide to help you earn 2 million credits every hour. That's right, this is the fastest way to earn credits there is racing in Gran Turismo 7. So I don't care what the trolls say in the comments, this is bona fide the fastest way. Alright, let's jump in and find out exactly what you need to do this technique. Okay, let's start with the car that you're going to need for this money making method. And that's right, you can see it in front of you. It's the Suzuki Cappuccino 91. Now this car isn't available to buy brand new. You have to make sure you keep an eye on the used car dealership. And within there, occasionally the Suzuki will come up. It's not available at the time I'm making this video, but it does occasionally come up. So make sure when it does to buy it. So the first thing you're going to do once you've bought this car is head over to GT Auto, go into car maintenance and service, and go ahead and install the engine swap and the wide body modifications. You can actually see that the oil is worn on this car, so you might actually want to do an oil change while you're there as well. I'm recording this after the race that I've already done, so I was actually a little bit slower. I've just realised my car would have been a tiny bit slower in this race. Now once you've done the engine swap and the wide body modification, head over to car customization. What I want you to do is go onto wheels and make sure that you have these wheels, the OZ Legenda alloys. And once you've equipped them, make sure that the offset is set to wide, not standard. The rim width is wide and the rim diameter is 15 inch. This will affect how the car handles, and I personally found that these particular wheels with these settings performed the best. Once you've added those wheels, head over to custom parts. And I want you to copy what I've got on here. On the front, we're going to make sure we've got the Type B. On the sides, I want you to put the Type B again. On the rear, Type A. And then the wing, I want you to have the custom wing set. That will allow you to have the same downforce settings for this setup, which you will see after the race. Now let's jump in and show you the race strategy and the lap guide so you can start earning credits as fast as possible. Okay, let's start with the lap guide in dry conditions. As you can see, this car is an absolute rocket ship down the straights. So it's really important to brake early when it comes to turn one. So your first braking marker is actually this gantry just above you, underneath the sign where it says Tokyo Expressway. As soon as you get level with that, or just before, hard on the brakes, get it over to the left hand side if the track is dry. Hit the apex at roughly 70 miles an hour, just over, and then feed the throttle in gently in second. As soon as you get it past that lamppost, I want you to brake just past it and aim for an apex speed of just over 80 miles an hour and feed the throttle in gently in second gear again. Get back over to the right hand side of the track, and your next braking marker is this lamppost. I want you to brake just before it and aim to get the car just under 150 miles an hour and as close to the left hand wall as possible. As soon as you see that right turning marker, dab on the brakes and then balance the throttle at just under 150 mile an hour again. As soon as you see these chevrons, hard on the brakes in a straight line. Aim to get it just under 120 mile an hour, change into third gear and gently feed the throttle in coming out of that corner. Now widen the entry to this next right-hander, and as soon as you get it pointed in a straight line and you can see that bridge, I want you to gently dab on the brakes, aiming to get the car under 140 mile an hour for that apex, and then accelerate and head over to the right hand side. Then when you see the 100-yard marker, brake. I broke a little bit too late on this corner. You aim to hit 120 mile an hour for that apex speed. Again, use the chevrons here and brake in a straight line. You're aiming for about 105 mile an hour apex speed on that corner. Use second gear on the exit, dab on the brakes, and then feed the throttle in gently coming out of this corner again. Now in this next corner, it's always better to brake earlier than later, so use this strip across the tarmac as your braking marker, way before the 200-yard marker. Hard on the brakes, aiming to get the car under 40 mile an hour before it starts turning in. Then use first gear, feed the throttle in gently into second, try and keep the car nice and stable, and then keep it pinned all the way down this home straight, using all of the power with this engine swapped Suzuki Cappuccino. And that was good enough for a 152.396. Now I'm sure you could go faster, but I didn't want to spend too long on the lap guide. This should be good enough for you to know where you need to brake and what kind of speeds you need to be going around the corners. Okay, now let's talk about the race strategy itself. As you can see, we've got racing medium tyres on, and I've also got a driving aid turned on. The driving line, this is on for a very good reason. You might think that this is a wet race and you can't use the racing tyres. Well, I'm here to prove you wrong. If you stay on that driving line and are very careful, there's enough grip to use the racing medium tyres. Yes, you have to brake a little bit earlier and go a little bit slower around the corners, but there is more than enough grip to use the racing tyres, which is a much quicker way to do this race. What you might also notice is I've got it in fuel map 6. So this is basically for two reasons. One, to save fuel, because we are inevitably going to have to pit. But two, it's also to prolong the tyre life, as because this car is an extremely powerful car that is rear wheel drive, there's a lot of stress that goes through those rear wheels when the engine has got maximum power. So in order to prolong the tyre life and make those rear tyres last longer, we turn the power down. So whilst we're going through these corners and it's quite slippy because the track is still drying, turn it to fuel map 6. That will not only make it easier to drive, save fuel, so you'll get some time back when you don't have to put any fuel in the car when you change for tyres, but it will also prolong the tyre life. You'll notice that I am braking earlier than in the lap guide, and I'm also going slow around the corners. That is obviously because we are in slightly damp conditions. The only time that I want you to turn the fuel map back up to 1 is on this home straight. If you turn it up to 6 at the end of this straight and then turn it back down to 1 at the beginning of the home straight, there is enough fuel in this car to be able to do the entire 12 laps on its own. So for the first couple of laps, you're going to take it very, very careful, making sure to stay on that racing line, as that is the driest part of the track. Braking earlier than normal, going a little bit slower round the corners, and nursing your racing medium tyres all the way to the end of lap 7, which is where we find ourselves right now. You can see we are lapping cars. I think that's P14 that we are coming up to lap on lap 7. We've been regularly hitting times under 2 minutes, and you'll see just before I go in the pits, I actually turn the driving line off. That's because the track is now dry enough that I don't need it. So we put the soft tyres on. We don't need to take any fuel. As you can see, there was 5 laps remaining, so we quickly nip in, take the tyres and come straight back out with very little time loss indeed. One of the other benefits you have from going an extra lap is you avoid a lot of the traffic. You can see a lot of the cars that you're coming up to lap or in the pits or just coming out of the pits. So instead of getting stuck behind them around the corners and potentially risking losing your clean race bonus, you get to overtake them going down the home straight if you stick to this strategy. When it comes to doing this race, it's not all about breaking lap records. It's about being fast consistently and avoiding the traffic. So remember, in the first half of the race in particular, be very cautious. Don't risk anything. You can overtake all of the cars before the end of the first home straight and then just stay on the dry line. And then as your tyres start to wear towards the end of your stints, remember, in the same way that you were shaving the speed off in the damp conditions, do exactly the same as the tyres start to wear, because the grip will be reduced. As you can see, as we come around the final corner on the final lap, there's severe tyre wear, but there's enough to get it home. And you'll also see that we're actually coming up to lap 15th place twice. Now, the finishing time for this particular race was 24 minutes exactly. You can go sub 24 minutes with a good run. So therefore, you can actually earn more than 2 million credits per hour with this car, with this strategy, and with this setup. How good is that? Now let's verify, did we get the clean race bonus? Yes, we did. Now, if you want to see the full race, you can check that out in the members section. So if you want to become a member of the channel, you can view that by all means. And here we have it, the all-important setup. Now, before I run through all of these settings, if I could ask you a quick favor, if you haven't already, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do videos like this all the time, helping people to either get faster at the game, earn credits, or just make an entertaining video for your enjoyment. So, if you've enjoyed any of this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Okay, so you can see in the setup, we've actually got soft tyres on, but you want to make sure that they're on mediums for when you start the race to do the same strat as we've just done there. On the suspension, it's fully customizable with these settings that you can see in front of you there. I will take my time, I won't go too quickly, so you can jot these down and copy them. For the differential, we want fully customizable, initial torque 27, acceleration sensitivity 18, and braking sensitivity 27. For the downforce, which you need the same wing that I showed you at the beginning of the video, you want to set this to 100 and 300, basically max them out. Fully customizable ECU. Ignore the ballast, I know it's set to 50, but there's no ballast weight, so that doesn't make a difference. Power 100%. Now, for the transmission, make sure that you've got the fully customizable racing transmission, and then on the manual adjustment, copy these settings if you want to have the same gear ratios as I had in the race. Final gear, well, first of all, 460 kilometers an hour top speed. Final gear, 6,500, and then for fifth, 444, fourth, 364, third, 282, second, 224, and first, 152. Nitrous, we can't have that unfortunately. Turbocharger ultra high. I didn't put the anti-lag on because that is worse for fuel consumption, and it is better to save the fuel, I felt. Racing intercooler, and then basically all of the mods that you can get on. Air cleaner, silencer, exhaust manifold, braking system, and then brake controller. This is quite important actually for the way that we've set this car up. You want the brake controller on, and you want it set all the way to the front. That helps with the handling, but also to not wear the rear tyres as much. And then engine balance tuning installed, polished ports, full weight reduction and increased body rigidity, as well as the racing clutch and the carbon propeller shaft. And that is everything for the setup, guys. Happy racing and go get some credits earned. If you're here to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope this method and technique helps you to start earning credits a bit faster so you can afford all of those cars in Gran Turismo 7. Now, before you go, make sure you subscribed to see more videos just like this, as well as live streams where you get to see the SammySnake in action every Monday and every Sunday. Remember, this method and this technique was done for version 1.60 of Gran Turismo 7. So if there is an update and they change the physics or the tyre model, this technique could change slightly. But for today's video, it's over and out from the Racing Snake. Take care and thanks for watching.